I have just got off of a recording with a fantastic lady, Amber Williams. She is the production assistant for Alice Cooper and the Hollywood Vampires. She has been with them for 10 years. Can you believe that? She came highly recommended by David Davidian. Thank you so much. Great chat, how she got into the industry, the connections, the fun time she has. So I really, really hope you enjoy listening or watching to the latest Leading Ladies podcast. Now, as always, we have our fabulous sponsor, Light Switch. And if you'd like to take a moment and watch their video with me.
Light Switch is a collective of award-winning lighting, media, and visual designers committed to changing how people experience the world. For more than 30 years, we have been practicing pragmatic design. At Light Switch, we believe it's our responsibility to keep our clients' creative, logistical, and financial objectives in balance. Light Switch's range of expertise is extensive, from working one-on-one with clients and artists to multidisciplinary teams collaborating on all visual aspects of temporary and permanent projects. Light Switch creates unforgettable moments and powerful experiences. We celebrate our team, clients, and all of our industry's diverse and talented people. As a part of our commitment to inclusion in all aspects of entertainment and experience design, Light Switch is proud to sponsor Leading Ladies.
La 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 la, ladies, la ladies. La, la. Now here's the Leading Ladies by Geezers of Gear. On tour, maybe she got some stories to share. Now here's the Leading Ladies by the Geezers of Gear. Rock star ladies with some stories to share, because la 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 ladies, la ladies, la la.
Hello and welcome to Leading Ladies with me, Sarah Burney. Now, my next guest has come very, very highly recommended by David Davidian, who was on Geezers of Gear with Marcel just a couple of weeks ago. And David has helped me so much with introducing me to some incredible ladies. Amber has been the first to book a recording slot and come on, but I'm hoping in the next few weeks we will get a few more ladies that would like to be part of Leading Ladies podcast. So with Amber has, with over a decade in the entertainment industry, Amber has built an impressive career as a production coordinator and VIP coordinator and assistant, working alongside legendary artists like Alice Cooper and the Hollywood Vampires. From coordinating world tours to ensuring seamless VIP experience, Amber thrives in high-pressure environments, bringing creativity, adaptability, and deep understanding of production logistics. Her experience spans film, music, and live events, having worked with companies like RealFX and Bedrock manufacturing before stepping into the touring world. Blah, 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 blah. Passionate about giving back, Amber actively supports causes like the Maui Food Bank. She also spent 2 months in Africa in a volunteer program when she was younger through the YMCA of New York. While there, she was involved in teaching villagers about the importance of sustainable living through recycling and cultivation of their main crop, which actually I found out was peanuts. Amber's been amazing because she's literally on tour now. She's just left one venue and she's going to another. They have what's known, I think she was saying, a half layover. So they've got like a daytime in one of the hotels, and she leaves the hotel later this evening. So I can't thank her enough for wanting to do this with such a hectic schedule going on. I can't wait to hear all about the touring world, what it's like for her being part of the Alice Cooper camp. And once again, thank you to David for connecting us. And I hope that you all really, really enjoy the latest Leading Ladies podcast. Hello, Amber.
Hello, Sarah. How are you?
I am great. I just have to, I've got to say it again. So I've been waiting on another studio for Leading Ladies, and accidentally you'd been given the Geezers of Gear thing. And we're both waiting, and it's 10 minutes gone, it's 15 minutes gone. And I'm like, I'm sure she was looking forward to doing it. And then I get a little text message from you, like, I'm here. So I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry.
It's all good. I feel like that's the nature of our industry. You just roll with it. Just see what happens.
I know, but at the same time, I think with our interview, we're punctual. You know, there's a time, that's the time. You know, it's leave time, it's this time. If you're not on that bus, then we're going without
Oil
you.
spotted. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you make your own way to the venue, like you've missed it. It's your problem. So I'm really happy that you're still here, because I was even getting slightly worried. I was like, okay, I'll send a message like, are you okay? You know.
Well, thank you for waiting for me. And it's really cool to get to be a part of this.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. So basically, it was David Davidian, that sort of speaks very, very highly of you, and he was like, you have to get Amber on your show to talk, because he was on Geezers of Gear with Marcel, I think, what was it, 2 weeks ago. And it's the first time that I've met David. And I have to say, David, if you're listening, thank you so much, because we're now doing this together, and he's just the nicest man. Like, really, just like genuinely will go out of his way. As I said, he's really helped me with, you know, connecting us together. And, you know, there's a few other ladies out there, and I just, you know, I can't thank him enough for doing that. And so obviously you've been working with him for years now. So you're extremely lucky.
Yeah, I'm so thankful. There's not many people in the industry like David, and I'm thankful that he and I connected 10 years ago. I've known him a decade.
That's amazing. Seriously. Very, very lucky. So going back to let's say, where are you now? Where's your location now?
I don't know if you can tell, I'm in a lovely hotel room in Atlanta, Georgia right now.
I love Atlanta.
I do too. It's good. I wish we could stay. We're 3 shows into Alice Cooper's 2025 tour. And so we're on a split drive from Greensboro, North Carolina to Mobile, Alabama. So we're here for a couple hours, then we get on the bus and go.
No way. Okay, so you're literally, I wonder, because I knew David had already left. And then I was thinking to myself, I'm sure you're on tour with him. But I was like, and I'm trying to look at the tour dates, and I couldn't work it out. But literally, you're doing it in between a stint.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I have even more admiration for you right now. Really.
That's how excited I was to do this. I'm like, day off, I'm talking to Sarah.
Really? Oh my, I feel truly honored with that, because like, especially like the beginning part of the tour, you know, you're just getting everything into a nice pattern and a nice groove. And often you're either tired, you certainly don't want to talk to anyone, and you certainly don't want to see anyone.
I like people, so it's good. I do like sleep too, but you know.
We're pretty similar then, because I love that. I love sleep and I do love people, but you know, like a nice mixture. So how long have you got now? Are you literally like, you've got like a couple of hours and then you head off, or have you got a night there now?
Yeah. No, so we got in around 6 a.m. and then we will leave tonight at 11:30 p.m.
Oh wow. Okay, so you kind of just got your rest time. That's pretty cool they're doing that and not driving. What's the reason for that? I've never done that before.
So driver hours and distances. So depending on when, I don't remember the rules in the UK, but here, so it's like if they drive a certain amount of hours, they have to have like a 24-hour break or 12-hour break. And so that's why we had to pick a halfway point that would accommodate their hours to not only get us here, but to get us to the next gig so we don't have to stop again.
Ah, I gotcha. Okay. As I said, I've never had like a daytime basically in a hotel. With they've either been like double drivers or triple drivers to get us there that way, or it's been that we've stayed somewhere for 24 hours.
Yeah. No, UK's cool about that, having double drivers, because we use like Phoenix buses a lot and we get double drivers for that. But in the States, we don't do that so much. I don't know why, to be honest.
Oh, really? So it's just normally just one driver?
Yeah, unless it's like a stupid long haul, then sometimes, but it's not. We get them more in the UK, in Europe than over here.
And I'm surprised at that because the distances in the States is like a lot bigger than generally in like the UK or going through Europe. So I would have
Yeah.
thought it would have been the other way. I haven't actually traveled through America on a bus. I was fortunate to be the advanced team for Coldplay that just flew everywhere. I say
Nice.
I was like I say that I was what did I say the word was? And lost my train of thought completely. I was fortunate, but actually, I love the buses. Like, I really do. Like, do you enjoy going on the buses?
Oh, it's my favorite way to travel, to be honest with you. Like, I look at other tours where they fly everywhere, they have their own planes and fly and stuff. I like being able to get on the bus, get my world situated. I don't have to keep packing up to move it, to repack, to do all the things. And I sleep so much better on the buses than anywhere. Like, once tour's over, I go home. It takes me a week for me to sleep because I'm used to like the movement and the rumble and I love buses.
No, me too. I've always found I have to have the bottom bunk though. I have to have a bottom bunk on a tour bus. But apart from that, like I do, I also just you get in there, you sleep, and yeah, it's just come. It's your home, isn't it?
Yeah, 1,000%. And I used to be the bottom bunk person until I hit 36 and my knees are like, nope. I'm like, okay, I got to do a middle.
That's so funny. So I've got lots of things to ask you. I mean, now obviously we're talking about the tour. So you started with Alice like over a decade ago.
Yeah, so I actually started with Alice on his other project, The Hollywood Vampires, originally. And so that's Johnny Depp, Joe
Yeah.
Perry. At the time, we had Matt Sorum in the band and Duff McKagan. And eventually, I'll tell you the story of how that ended up transpiring. But yeah, so that's where I started with Alice. And then a year later, he was like, I need a VIP coordinator. And I was like, well, shit, twist my arm, why don't you? And I started, and then it turned into, well, I also need a production assistant. So then it became VIP production assistant. And then it became, oh, well, we need extra people in the show. So it became VIP production assistant performer. And then
I
it became, so it just,
really what a ride. But how did you initially, like, let's say, get the job? Like, how did that all come about? Because you weren't actually in touring before this, were you?
no. So, a tiny bit of backstory about me. So my grandfather is Shep Gordon. And so he's been in the music industry forever and ever. And Alice was his very first client. He did Teddy Pendergrass, Luther Vandross, Gypsy Queen, Blondie, Ben Vereen, just to name a few. And so I never wanted to be in the music industry. It was like my rebellion. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. So I ended up right before touring, I worked for an animation studio out of Santa Monica called Real Effects, and I was their business development and marketing coordinator. I was in a relationship. It didn't go the way I wanted it to, and I kind of fell into a depression because I wasn't sure where my life was going to go. And my grandfather called me up one day and he goes, so I know you're going through this, but how would you feel about running away and joining the circus for a month? I
Oh,
was
what
like,
a great.
I was like, yeah, sure. Okay. And so, he and I had talked. It was only going to be for a month until they could find someone. And I ended up falling in love with it. And here I am 10 years later.
I think that is the best story, really. Literally, like from maybe going through heartache, depression. Now I've been there. I've had that done, and then to be asked, like, why don't you go away? Go away just for a month. That's it, and then you fell in love with it. Like,
Yeah.
really,
But it backfired on him. He didn't want me touring. He was thinking like, oh, I'll get out there for a month and I'll be like, oh, this sucks. I'm over it. And so now we'll sit down and have conversations. He goes, so you're still going to keep touring? I'm like, yeah, I love it. Even years later, he's like, so are you sure about this? Yeah, I'm sure.
And that's funny actually, because Shep, his name came up. Actually, probably was with David actually. So I've already heard about like your granddad, but I didn't put the two together. So that's.
To be fair, we don't. If you Google him, we don't look anything alike, and we don't have the same. I'm his adopted granddaughter. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, but it's the fact that that's your granddad. Like, it's the connection, and but because obviously you'd sent me all the notes and everything. I had seen it and I was like, well, so I don't understand what the connection is there, because again, I saw his name pop up and I was like, I've never met him myself. And so I was like, I wonder what the connection, and there we are. So that's the connection.
I'm originally from New York, but growing up, so my grandmother lived in New York with us. I have 3 siblings, so us 4 kids. And then my grandfather lived in Hawaii. So I split my time between the two. So we would spend Christmases and summer there. And then, growing up, where we grew up wasn't a bad place, but it was like there was really nothing to do except for not okay things, kind of. So I decided to call Shep up and was like, I found this great school on the Big Island of Hawaii. I could go to school there, fly to you on the weekends, and build a bond, because we never really saw him that often. And so 2001, I moved to Hawaii by myself. I was in 8th grade and graduated high school there. And so between the two.
But that's amazing. So even at a young age, you kind of, you had that sort of that go get you inside to say, actually, no, I don't want to be here in this location. I want to go somewhere different. You knew that Shep was over in Hawaii and took a fantastic opportunity to go there. Because when I was looking sort of through like your studies, was it criminal? Was it you've studied?
Criminal justice. I got my bachelor's in it.
So so going from that, did you see a career path that way, or like where did it take you from university to the next stage?
Oh God, I'm going to sound like such a psycho admitting this. So growing up, I was obsessed with, we had this TV show called America's Most Wanted. And it was hosted by John Walsh, and his son had gotten kidnapped. And so he started this show to like bring awareness to criminals in America and things like that were missing that the cops couldn't find. So it was like a tip line kind of thing. And I was so obsessed with the show. I would print out every single person on the show, and I would have like a little filing cabinet. And I was like, I'm going to find this person. I'm going to find this person. My mom's like, you're out of your damn mind. And then I got obsessed with like the X-Files, which is about the Federal Bureau of Investigation and all this stuff. So I was like, I'm going to go to school for justice studies, and I want to go into, and I had a whole game plan, a whole thing in my mind. But someone very, very close to me got arrested and falsely accused of a crime. And it was then that I realized I didn't have the stomach to go to law school and potentially convict an innocent person, or to mess up and let a bad guy off. Like, I couldn't defend a bad guy. And so that's when I really kind of had to take a hard look at what I wanted, what I could stomach. And so that's a roundabout way of me going into the animation industry. So I
But
was like,
that though,
I'm upset.
again, a great thing to realize that actually, can I do that? Whether it's, a bad guy, a good guy, am I going to their life is in my hands. And I've never looked at it that way before, but I certainly couldn't do it. Like,
I definitely couldn't. That's why I did.
yeah. So that's, but again, just to realize after you've gone through, all the education that you've gone through it, then to realize actually, no, I can't. And then what made you go into the animation? Like, I mean, 'cause that's completely,
Well, so the gentleman who owned the company, his name's Tom Kartsotis, and amazing guy. He started Fossil Watches, and after I got out of animation, I was part of the creative team that started this other company called Shinola Watches through him. And he was a neighbor and saw that I'm a 36-year-old child. Like, I got Stitch from Lilo and Stitch on. I was wearing my Stitch Crocs, and he saw I loved animation, and they were starting a project called Freebirds, which was an animated movie about turkeys traveling back in time to get turkeys taken off of the Thanksgiving menu and to put pigs on it. And I was like,
fantastic.
sold.
Oh my goodness, you'll have to tell me what's the name of that one? I'll check that out.
Freebirds.
Oh, it's called Freebirds. Right, I've got that one
it's
down.
hilarious. It's got Woody Harrelson and Owen Wilson voicing the two main turkeys, and
I might even have seen this. Right, hubby, get that one down. Freebird. And from because in one part of your life as well, you've been a dance teacher. So was that growing up, you wanted to dance, or?
sort of, kind of, if that, hopefully it'll make sense. So growing up, my mom, grandmother, she got myself, my brother, and my sisters into dance, and I fell in love with this, especially tap dancing. Like, that was my jam. Like, I loved it. And when I was going to Arizona State, which is located in Phoenix, Arizona, or Tempe, Arizona, I actually lived with Cheryl and Alice. Cheryl's Alice Cooper's wife, and she owned a dance studio called Destiny Dance, and she's known me pretty much my whole life. And she was like, I need a dance teacher. Like, will you come in and do ages like 3 to 6 for me? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And it was so much fun. Like, I love being with the kids. I love interacting with them. And they're some of the funniest people. I mean, I travel the world and meet funny people, but kids are funny. They're like little drunk people. I love it. They just say what they want.
Exactly. They speak the truth, and we laugh that it's the truth. And if we got to say it, we'd be like, oh, you can't say that.
You're right. So, yeah, so as you can tell, my life is like all over the place.
Yep. But it's all over the place, but it's still, everything's, connected in a way. I mean, like that was your neighbor, for the animation, so I'm a big believer, and I've said this before on here. It's not necessary. Obviously, it's not necessarily like what you know. It's also who you know. Who you know can open the doors to many, many things. But then I believe that it's now you're there, you're doing it. It's not because of your uncle or your neighbor that you actually, was successful within those jobs. It's because of the person that you are.
I agree with that.
And I just think that's, yeah, no, I do. Like, a lot of times people, they can say, oh, it's because of this, because of that. But actually, no, it boils down to the way, everybody is, each individual person. I've said on here before as well, sometimes I don't know how there's certain people that still got jobs and they're terrible at the jobs. Like, I don't know. There's just there is a rule. There's I don't know. There's a special hidden wand for these people that get to keep the jobs all the time. And I don't know how, but there are a lot of incredible people out there. Yeah, a lot of incredible people. So tell me, obviously you took the job 10 years ago. And tell me, just tell me everything about just what happened. Like, the first time on a bus? Like, how was that? The first time being part of the tour?
Well,
Yeah.
it was so Alice's show is very theatrical. It's got a lot of moving pieces. He gets killed every night. He's got a giant snake, all the things. And the Hollywood Vampires is more a rock band, like just straight throw and go. So that was a little more mild than Alice's show. And we debuted at I'm having a brain fart. It was either at the Roxy or the Rainbow. I think it was we debuted in LA, and then we went and took it to Rock in Rio. So I went from 200 people to 200,000 people.
Wow.
So that blew my mind, and trying to get my headspace into that rhythm. Whereas, when we started in LA, it was just us and working with, the one promoter, the building, and then going there. And then it's like, you got to deal with runners, catering, translators, all the different things. So it was a complete mind fuck a little bit, because I was like, wait, that was easy. This is kind of hard. But once I got into the rhythm, I was like, this is great. I can do this all the time.
Yeah, and
then,
I mean the challenges that must have come with it.
Yeah, it was. But you know what? The cool thing about the Vampires was everyone was and still are very excited about them. And we went down to Rock in Rio with there's a hearing company here called Starkey, and so we went down there, and a lot of people put like the Johnny Depps, the Alice Coopers, the Joe Perrys on a big pedestal. And what we ended up getting to do was they found 100 children, men, women, and children who had hearing loss. And they stood in a room and fit every single person with a hearing aid. So a little girl's first time hearing a voice was Captain Jack Sparrow or Alice Cooper. And so that kind of what made me cemented why I wanted to stay in the touring industry, because these guys are just humans, but to see the impact that they have on other people, it's really cool and really humbling. Like, I never thought I'd be hanging with Captain Jack, but and
yeah, that is pretty cool. Well, all of it. I mean, I was looking through all your photos, and I was like, just everything, like from family photos to work photos. And I was like, you really like, and all the photos, you're always smiling, you're always like, and I was just like, it just tells this huge story just on your Instagram. Like, it was just so cool, just like flicking through everything. And you have to tell me, because obviously you mentioned that you were like a performer as well. Is that when you was on the stage in like the nurse's outfit?
Yes, I've been a nurse. I've been a big baby. I've cut Alice's head off. I play a fangirl who runs on stage, and Jason from Friday the 13th comes up and slits my throat. So you never know what you're going to be. Alice, he's crazy. When he hires you, he promises you 3 things. You're going to get paid, you're going to see the world, and you're probably going to get stitches. I've gotten the first 2. The only thing I've gotten is a concussion, so I haven't gotten stitches.
Sorry, Marcel. When can I join?
No, Alice is great. With his show, it's everyone has a role. So, a guitar tech might be a zombie. His wife performs in the show. Our carp who builds the stage, he's a giant 13-foot tall Frank and Alice, and Jason who kills me. So there's always a part for someone in the show, and Alice loves putting people in the show.
How awesome! That's like that'd be literally a dream for me. Like just to be on the stage and just run and be like a crazy zombie or something.
I'm sure we can make that happen. We're playing in Athens, so I'm not sure how far that is from you, but you should come to the show.
Do you know what? David said the same to me. He was like, you've got to come over to the show in Athens. But it's a festival, isn't it?
Yeah. But still.
Yeah, still, I just
God.
always like I always know like with festivals, there's more strain on the crew and everybody when it's a festival because sometimes you're like a little bit under what you would normally be. You're not taking the full crew, so I normally like stay away from the festivals just because. But so I said to David, if you come back and do a stadium gig, then I'm there.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So yeah, so you are, I mean, you're heading over to Europe. When will that be? In the next month or
In
6 weeks? Was it
in
June?
the no June, into June, July, month of July.
Oh, it's July. I had it the other way around. I had it was, yeah, I had it with it was before. Yeah. So with traveling the world, I mean, how have you found it 10 years ago to now? Like, what changes have you seen? Do you feel that there's any changes? And not just being a lady. I know this is, about the ladies in the world, but you know, just in general and as a lady, like, have you seen a lot of changes and what's your perspective now on everything?
Yeah, I have seen a lot of changes. And to be honest with you, I feel like a lot of the changes I'm seeing is from post pandemic, where a lot of people in our industry left because of the uncertainty. Like, were we going to come back? And if we came back, will we get shut down again? And, everything from runners to riggers to stage managers to production managers, like starting to realize how volatile our industry can be and them leaving. So now we have this new group of people. I don't want to say a generation of people, but a new group of people inserting themselves into the industry and watching them learn, comparing this new group to the guys who've been doing it for years and grizzled, that roadie that's like, yeah, I'm 26 years old, but he looks like he's 89, and like the guy that you get the wisdom from and the cool backstories, all this stuff. So there's definitely been a change. It's been both good and bad. It's been good because fresh faces and keeping this industry going, and bad sometimes because of the lack of experience.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to poo poo on them, it's a learning game. We all got out here, we didn't know what we were doing, and we're all learning. But it's still fun. It's still a small, big industry, and
It is. I mean,
everyone,
I didn't realize quite how, like, it's a huge industry, but just quite how small it is, especially now with doing Geezers of Gear and with people we get on, everyone knows each other, everyone's connecting, whether it be, from anything from manufacturers to artists to everything. Like, we are a big, small family. And, there's something very special about that. I would probably say the changes, I would say in my eyes, people have got calmer. I don't know if that's a
yes.
wrong, but I believe in my eyes, things have, even I kind of joined touring towards the end, I would say, or not the end of the crazy days, because it still was crazy, but now it is very much, we're there to work. You've got to be more responsible about things. Not everybody, and each to their own who, what you can do.
Yeah. Same with the
But
musicians too. Because, like back then it was like sex, drugs, rock and roll. And like, that's what my friends, that's how they interpret what I do. And I'm like, it's cold pizza, Pepsi AC, and Diet Coke. Like, it's
yeah,
not. And I mean, even 10 years ago, because Alice has been sober for a million years and stuff. But like, even a lot of the other bands who that was the whole persona, like, you had to be the bad boy. They all, will sit outside, we'll have a barbecue and go on the bus and go to bed. There's no ragers or anything crazy like that.
yeah, and that's, I've had a few party buses, let's say, in my time, and they're amazing, But the last tour I did, I actually did that completely sober, like the whole way through, and it was the best I'd ever felt. And I was like, you know, I couldn't do it with a hangover anymore. Whether that's an age thing, I don't know. But I want to be on the ball. I want to be feeling good and doing yeah, just feeling good. And the amount of people that were also like, oh yeah, we don't drink. And there was like non-alcoholic beers on the bus. I've never heard of that. Who puts a non-alcoholic beer on? So it's good to see the change, but then it's really sad as well. I think it's sad that we've lost that rock and roll side of things. I mean, it's still there. I'm not saying it's not there. It's still there. But turning things into more obviously corporate, and the schedule. I mean, your schedule. I mean, like now you've got a day off in the hotel. I'm presuming that you'll be traveling overnight and you'll arrive tomorrow and load in. Is that yeah?
Yes. Yeah. And Alice doesn't stop. I mean, he's 76, about to be 77, actually tomorrow. And he'll do
Happy
3
birthday,
shows in a
Ali.
row. Thank y'all. Let him know.
Oh no, sure, buddy.
He'll do 3 shows in a row, day off, 3 shows in a row, day off. He doesn't stop. He's in better
Wow,
shape than me.
that's crazy. And the fact
Yeah.
that, I mean, obviously he loves it that much that he wants to do it as well. Because if he didn't want to do it, then he would say, "No, I do 2 shows or I do whatever."
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that he feels the pressure now that he has to do more, or it is really that he just loves it?
He loves it. Like I hope I'm allowed to say this. Sorry, Alice, if you see this and you don't agree, but I think he likes the structure and he likes the performing. Because like when he's home, he's accessible and like can twiddle his thumbs. But out here, he's got a strict schedule where it's like up in the morning to play golf, go to the mall, interviews, nap, show, bus, poker, wake up, do it all over again the next day. But he genuinely loves performing. I've never seen that man mad a day in my life. He'll get mad if he messes up something in the show. He'd be like, man, I came out too early. And that will eat at him because he wants to deliver the best show he can. And I'm like, no one noticed. You're fine.
And I've heard, so like I haven't seen an Alice Cooper show or Hollywood Vampires. I haven't, but like live. But people that I've been speaking to, they're just like, it is the best. Like the performance, the everything, and even Marcel, my boss, was like, I have to come and see it again this year. So you might actually meet Marcel somewhere
Right.
when you're in, yeah. But
I hope so.
looking at again, yeah, just I mean, to have that amount of energy, we're going to say the age as well, but I don't necessarily think that it is an age thing, but it's just how you keep yourself healthy. So the tour itself, like he keeps himself healthy. I'm presuming like the diet that he's eating. Do you have a personal chef that goes with you as well? Do you have to coordinate that, or just locally you cannot? Do you coordinate with the local like catering and like on site? Like how does it work for you?
So in the States, we'll coordinate with the local venues and their catering companies and all that. And when we're over in Europe, a lot of times we'll get a catering company that will tour with us. So we can give them our dietary restrictions, our allergies, and then they get into a rhythm where they know like, okay, tonight Alice having plain chicken breasts and broccoli. Like, so, but it's tough out here to maintain a healthy diet.
It's good. I mean, when you finish, you've loaded out, got onto the bus, and there's some kind of takeaway that's there, and every night you say, or every morning you wake up, you're like, I'm not having that after show food tonight. I'm not having it. You get on the bus and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll have it tonight and not tomorrow.
Oh, it's horrible. Like I try to not get after show food because I wake up and I'm like, like fried food when you go right to bed. But the thing that sucks that, or not sucks, but my boyfriend tours with us as well. So I won't get after show food and he'll get after show food. I'm like, okay, that fried catfish looks really good. And I'm like, keep it away from me.
So that's great. So you're actually, you tour with your partner as well, your boyfriend.
I do. He's been with, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. I was going to say, so did you, I'm presuming that you met each other like working on the tour.
Yes. He's been Alice's guitar tech for well over a decade. And so,
Um,
yeah,
See, again, I'm not saying that it's, but how wonderful to be in a relationship and you're touring with each other. You know, you obviously get on really well, and you can really just bounce off of each other's by just seeing each other. You know each other. You've got your jobs, you're working, but then you're together and you're traveling the world together. That's fantastic, really. I
I'm
know
very
some people.
lucky.
Yeah, I do know some people that can't tour with their partners. It's just they're
I
like,
do
no,
too.
oh, okay. Yeah, and I mean, for me, like I mean, I generally do. We spend with my husband, we spend like 24/7, or not literally 24/7, but where if we have to, we love it. It's when we're
Yeah,
apart, we're like, I miss you, honey.
that's how we are. And like you were saying, I know people who cannot tour with their significant other, or if they tour, they're like, we want separate hotel rooms. We don't even want to be in the same hotel room. And I'm like, I can't imagine not being in a hotel room with him when we're on the road.
You're the same. No, seriously, I know people like that as well. And I'm like, I don't understand it. Surely the best thing you can do is go and be with your partner at this time, rather than like, I don't know, they're like 2 rooms down or something. Like, just crazy. Really
Sure, my
crazy.
boyfriend's gonna watch this and be like, take the other room, take the other room.
Like, yeah, go on, take it, take it, take it, take it. Well, I hope he's not trying to sleep now, is he?
No, no, I sent him out with the boys. They're
Oh,
they're
did you?
traveling around.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been to Atlanta, well, a couple of times. My father actually he used to live there, so when he said Atlanta, I do like Atlanta.
Oh, what
And
brought your
so, have you
father out
got like,
here?
is there a? Oh, he's not now. This was like when I was a kid. Like he went out
Oh,
there to live years ago. But I have great memories of Atlanta and all the suburbs around it. So yeah,
very
very
cool.
a place close to my home. Yeah, one day I'll get back over that way. I was actually in Vegas in December, and I hadn't been to the States for years and years. It's changed a lot.
Yeah. I'm sure you saw the
Like, it really
sphere
has.
and all the things in Vegas.
Yeah, yes, all the glitz in Vegas, Grand Canyon and all that. That was pretty cool. But
Very
traveling the
nice.
world, I mean, this is something that I think we are so lucky to have done, and for you to be still traveling the world, and for the people that you meet. And there was a saying that you'd put, like, oh, what was it now? Something like, just be frigging kind, something like that. Like, your kind of like motto to life was just be kind. And it's so true, because I can just tell by you already that you give good things, and you watch someone will phone me up, go, no, she's really horrible, really. I'm joking, I'm joking.
No, yeah. I was like, who called you? No. No, and in this industry, in any production, actually in life, I genuinely believe that you get farther with kindness. Until a person gives you a reason to not be kind, still be kind, but be firm. And I'm not, trying to make it all flowers and sunshine, because there are days where I want to rip a runner's head off or something. But um, I see so many like production managers, tour managers, like rip someone's head off for something so inconsequential. Like, sorry, your oat milk was not oats grown from Bavaria. I don't know. I'm making stuff up, but I'm like,
Yeah,
why?
no, I
Why do we
understand.
need to
I
be
do.
that way?
Yeah, I think, oh, we've been kind of trained that it's acceptable to be that way, and it's not. We're forgetting our manners. We're forgetting literally that we are human beings. There's a lot of emotions that go into touring. I've spoken about that before on here. it's a roller coaster. I mean, you are very lucky, you have your partner, you're traveling together, you can release any emotion that you have or any woes or anything like that.
Yeah.
But some people, they are on their own. Maybe they're excellent at their job, but they're not really that good at communicating. And that whole roller coaster, and you get somebody that's then nasty to you for whatever reason. Like you said, the oat milk isn't made from this oat or that oat. Who cares? But then you have to go, yes, yes, I'll sort it. Yes, yes.
And then you go crawl into your
And
bunk and close your curtain and cry and wake up and do it again the next day.
yeah, and do it again the next day. So that puts like I said, an emotional roller coaster, for you, for anyone that's on the end of someone being horrible, or not kind, shall we say. And I'm a big believer in being kind and being kind to everybody. Doesn't make you, sometimes I often think, am I a sucker for being that way? Because then that rattles in my brain. I'm like, but I don't think we are. I just
I don't
think
think
that
we
if you,
are, because we get
yeah,
the job done at the end of the day. And, maybe uh, like sometime every now and then, I'll check in with like the runners we hire and stuff. And I'm like, oh, is your dad a fan or someone or something? And if they are, like, I'll try to get Alice to sign something for the dad, and that will make that person's day for
yeah,
God knows how long. And I'm like, I'd rather send someone home feeling good than why break them down and make them feel like crap. Like, it doesn't.
exactly. And you basically, you get the best out of people as well.
A
Like there's,
1,000%.
and I wish that a lot of people would take, your attitude towards it, because, I've worked with some really horrible people, and then I'm just like, I don't shut down. I still do my job, but I'm not as, I wouldn't go above and beyond. Whereas, you've got somebody being nice, I will go above and beyond, and I will really, I'll get bust everything to get that done, and extra speedy time, yeah, it's a great way to be. It's a great sort of, yeah, it's a great character to be, and hopefully in return, you get nice people as well, giving it
Yeah.
back.
And it's been,
Mm.
so far on my end, I've been very fortunate. And, with the vampires, there's overlap between, Alice's camp and, the Aerosmith camp. And we'll go to venues that both have played before. And the first words out of someone's mouth is, so is so-and-so on this tour? And as soon as we say no, suddenly it's like, whatever you need. You want us to fly in a frickin' golden goose for these guys, whatever you need. And it's delightful. Like it's a better experience than when we were there previous, because it's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
animosity's in the air. They're like, oh, that guy's coming or that girl's coming. And so
And again,
our
yeah,
job.
yeah, and it makes your job easier, makes everything. So a day in the life of Amber, what would that be? Run us through, okay, shall we say what you think will happen tomorrow, what probably will happen tomorrow, and then none of it will happen tomorrow, and something completely different. So what's your, I know you're laughing. I know this is a hard question.
I know, but you say that, I'm like, wait, what do I actually do? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you.
So, so I think we have like I think it's a 4-hour drive tonight. And, so I'll get up at 6:30. My production manager and I will walk into the venue, suss everything out, get the dressing rooms prepared for the band. We'll, make sure catering's up for the crew, and both local and our own. Um, then silly little logistical stuff like doing bus stock or grocery shopping lists for the bus and for the dressing rooms, things like that. And then, doing, security sheets and a lot of little, office stuff. And then the band comes in. We do, Alice's VIP sound check, doors, show, I break down production, get Alice's wife dressed for the show. Couple songs in, get her changed into another costume for another part of the show. I get killed. I clean up the stage after the end of the show and pack it all up and get all the after show food on the bus and go to bed after a glass of wine. And then I go to bed.
That was a brilliant day in the life, and I do love the part where it's like, and I get killed. I then clean up. That'd be my best bit. I'd be like, okay, guys, soon I'm going to be killed. Soon I'm going to be killed. Soon I'm going to be killed.
It really confuses people. I'm like, oh yeah, I get killed, and they're like, I'm sorry, what? I'm like, yeah, Alice kills me or Alice has Jason kill me every night, and they're like, I thought you were a production assistant. I'm like, yeah, I do that too.
I think this sounds like the best crew, really, to all be so hands-on. And I've heard of the video guys doing like the cameras and all the rest of it, but not actually being a zombie or being anything like that. That's yeah. And the crew that you're actually working with, are there a lot of ladies on the tour, or are you? Nope.
No. So it's me. We have another production assistant, and then Alice's wife. This run we did have a female guitar player. She's coming back, but she's doing a solo gig that conflicted dates. So normally there's 2 or 3.
And has that been like the whole of like the 10 years, or have you seen different females come in or leave, or
yeah, different females in and out. But when I started originally 10 years ago, it was just me. Or no, actually Nita was in the band at that time. So it was me, Nita, and Alice's wife. But I was by far the only Black person for quite a bit. But yeah, it's definitely a male heavy dominant
that
camp.
really is. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the tours I've done, there's a minority of the ladies are part of the tour, but really, you are mum. You are really, really mum to everybody. I always use that word because, being the only lady that's on there. How do you feel being the only lady on the tour, basically?
I don't mind it as much. It's because I will say everyone in this crew is very, very welcoming. We all hang out. So they don't treat me like, oh, she's a female, like that weird kind of like, oh, we got to be like, I don't know how to say it correctly to convey it, but it's like I'm one of the guys. Like we all hang out. They respect me as a female, but they don't tiptoe. Like I'm like, I will pull road cases, and they're like, would you? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, all right. So they respect me as a female. They don't make me feel any less than because I'm a female.
Yep.
They include me. The only time it gets hard is like, when we're overseas sometimes in certain places where you can still feel the old school mentality of the industry where it's like, they won't address questions to me. They'll address it to a man that's in the room. And it's like kind of like a, hey, guess what?
I'm
you
here.
can talk to me. Yeah.
I'm here. Yeah, I've seen that, being part of that, and yes, I totally understand the old school kind of mentality of things. I do think it's changing. Yeah, I think it's changing a great deal now. And most men, gentlemen out there, if you're a lady in this industry, we're generally, I'm going to say this nicely, we've generally got balls. We can handle ourselves. We don't need to be. We don't need to be taken care of. You don't have to say the night and like stop your swearing. You don't have to do this. Obviously there's certain things. I don't want to see them all naked because I don't. But
right.
I'm not one of them, the lads. But when it comes to it, you do know that they'll be respectful, and I've never had an issue on in any tour that I've ever worked on always felt welcomed, especially, by the actual tour crew, and I think that that's a beautiful thing to be part of. And it does take a certain type of lady to be part of it. Like I said, you have to be strong, and you have to be a little bit insane as well.
Oh, 1,000%. I'm nuttier than batshit. Like, I'm like,
So there is one thing. I'm not, you'll have to like fill me in when you was in, but I was reading that, you'd actually been in Africa for 2 months. Now I'm taking it this is before like your touring days, but this I just wanted for you to, like, I don't know, tell the listeners, just what a kind and caring heart that you've got, like, on top of everything. So please, whereabouts in Africa, and yeah, what was you doing there?
like I told you earlier, I grew up in New York and Hawaii, but New York. And, I went and volunteered with the YMCA of Brooklyn, and they had I forget the exact term of what it was, but they have overseas programs where you can go and you literally live out of your backpack as a kid. And depending on where you go, you participate in either like helping to build schools, helping to build wells, helping, generally just helping in that country of need. And so I did the program to the Gambia in Africa. And so I went over and we did, their main export was peanuts. And so we came in and helped plant fields of peanut trees or root or sorry, I'm getting tongue tied. I told you I'm nervous. So we planted peanuts for them and got to live there, and through the YMCA on their end, help in their schools, help with the kids. We had a couple times where we got to go and live with a local family for a couple of days. And so they would take us under the wing, and they were part of the YMCA. And it was incredible.
Really an experience. Like, I mean, really, that is a life experience to be giving in that way and helping. Did you feel this is going to be did you feel that you either could have continued like to help more, or what you did, because it's never going to be enough, is it? The help.
Mm-mm. No, I would have
And
loved to have stayed and kept doing the program, but that was, I'm pretty sure that was the year my grandmother raised us kids, and she had a heart attack. And so it was right when I was supposed to come back. And so I ended up coming back and staying. She's fine. She's good, but
yeah,
I was a kid, and I knew people had heart attacks, but I didn't think it would happen. So I went back to New York, and then instead of going back to Africa, through being in New York and through being in Hawaii, like, I would continuously find myself volunteering for stuff and trying to help out where I can and everything. Cause I mean, we're all human. Like, we need help. Like, I'd like to think, if, knock on wood, if something happens and I'm homeless or jobless, like, someone's going to go, hey, what can I do? Like, can I, even just to be an ear to talk to,
yeah.
So
Really, this is I would say, helping and being, like you said, the ear. So many people need help out there. I mean, so many people. I mean, I am lucky where I live. There aren't that many. There aren't that many homeless people here. And in fact, there isn't any. No, I'm not going to say there's not any. That's a silly thing to say, because there are a few, but literally like a handful of people. We actually had this was last year. There was a man sleeping in a doorway. Well, the whole community of, like, where I live, like, they all got together and took him to a monastery, and like everyone was like, "Have you seen this man? He's on the streets and he's old and he's this." Like, nobody will see you on the street, and I think that's really nice. But there's the population's so big. I mean, when I went back to England, I was shocked again. I was like, oh my goodness, so
Oh
many
yeah.
people on the, you know, and, you know, there's a charity here actually, and they go out over to Africa as well, and they help build the huts and the schools. And I was talking to them and they were like, we need more people, we need more this, we need more that, you know, that you've constantly, you know, you're inundated with people that we need volunteers to help and to everything. So whilst I love it, and yeah, for you to experience that, it like makes me sad at the same time, you know, because it's like, you know, all those things. But the another charity that you've been supporting is the Maui Food Bank.
Yes, yes. Because we have a lot of hungry people, a lot of food insecurity in Maui. We have it everywhere, but we have it a lot in Maui. And so my grandfather, he donates them, does charity benefits for them, and he'll fly musicians out that he's worked with or knows or friends with, and they'll put on a whole benefit and donate the money to the food bank. And so watching him do that, and I started learning about what was going on in the community, I donate to it. And we just had the fires a year change ago in Lahaina, and so the need is even greater now. And so any way I can contribute or do something,
Wow.
yeah.
Have they got a web? I didn't actually look at they've got a website as well, so
They
where you
do.
can donate. They do. Okay, well, I'm going to add that
Yes.
to the posts and things, because I'm a really big believer in giving back. And whenever anybody comes on, the first thing I ask is, you know, like, do you have a charity? And I'll always try and do posts just to, like, I wasn't aware of, you know, that charity. So, you know, just to spread the word. If someone's got some spare change that they can help, then, you know, that's just amazing in my eyes anyway.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Like,
Yeah,
that'd
no,
be
no, no, no.
awesome.
Like, as I said, every little helps, you know, and if one person can tell somebody else, who can tell somebody else. And, you know, nowadays it's, you know, everyone's on social media anyway, aren't they? You know, and like flicking through things. So I think the more people are aware of, you know, different organizations that are out there, then that's a really good thing. Now I know you've not got long. We've been a lovely chat. I can't thank you enough.
No, thank
Really,
you.
for coming up. But I'd just like to ask you one thing. For, let's say, for any of the young ladies coming into the industry, what advice would you give them?
Mm, that's a good question. I would, um, I really have to think about that for a second. I think I would tell anyone getting into this industry that's a lady to not give up. That sometimes, especially with it being such a male dominated industry, I know a lot of, like, more so in the production side, they feel like giving up, like that they can't do it. You're just as good and just as capable as any of these people, but you got to have the faith in yourself and you got to keep trying. There's no perfect way to do this job. There's no perfect way in this industry. So don't beat yourself up or feel like you let yourself down. Just keep going. Just try. Just keep going. And kindness. Always be kind.
Yes. All right, seriously, that's great advice. And I think for any of the ladies that are listening out there that are coming into the industry, yep, keep strong, keep believing in yourself, and take the opportunities that come about. You know, if whoever, whatever artist you're working for, whatever band, and they say jump on that stage, you do it. You do it. And for myself, always enjoy everything you're doing. You know, enjoy everything, do things with passion. And if there's a moment where you don't like it, I'm not saying just quit, because you never do that, but you stop. Life's too short. Life's too short to do something you don't like. As you found out with your criminal justice, that wasn't for you. You stopped it. You moved on. Same as this. 100% sure that if you woke up tomorrow morning and you was like, actually, no, this isn't for me anymore, you'd stop it. You know, you'd stop it, and you wouldn't just walk out straight away, but you would go on to something else, learning from people, learning from, yeah, let's say I don't know if this is right. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, like our elders, like the older people in our industry, but yeah, learn from the people that have been in.
Well, because some of the best, like David Davidian, like some of the best mentors you can have, and don't be afraid to ask questions, because a lot of times they are open and want to help you succeed. And I've gone to David and talked to him and like, what was it like then? And like, how would you do this? And how would you navigate that? And that's some of the best education that, like, not trying to knock Full Sail, but like, yeah, you get technical know-how at Full Sail, but people know-how and how to move know-how, you get it from each other, or our elders, or the people who's been doing this for years.
Yeah, exactly. Don't look at people as though, oh, you're sort of too old now or whatever, because that's who you need to be asking these questions. And making mistakes. It's also okay to make a mistake, but my advice to younger people out there coming in is put your hand up when it's been noticed you've done a mistake, or if it hasn't been noticed and you've done the mistake, just own up to it. That takes a stronger.
1,000%. Like, I don't care if someone came in and crashed the tour bus. If they took their lickings, so it's like, I fucked up, it's my bad, I would be like, don't worry about it, you're fine. But it's the person that's like, well, if that person didn't do this, and then this didn't happen, and this didn't happen, just say it was an accident. Like, just own it and then move on.
Exactly. Own it, move on. I mean, I've had to put my head down in so many different places, and go, oh, yes, it was me. I mean, one time I was driving the minibus, and I was so happy because we'd finished early, and I was so happy, and I was like, had the music on, and like I was like, yeah, and I put it into reverse. Now I had obviously looked behind, but I hadn't seen two massive forks, which was the forklift's fault, was up. Okay, so it was a mixture, because the forklift shouldn't have been parked with the forks up. That's the first thing. But it was me that reversed into it. So I hands up and I went, it was me. 4 hours later, as we're waiting for the windscreen people and all the rest of it, and my team were like, we'd finished early. I was like, I know. I just got overexcited.
That's like my biggest fear. Like, I will never drive a Sprinter van. I will never drive a runner's car. I'm like, nope, because I would probably be that person who would like accidentally jump a curb or something. I'm a good driver, but like you, being so excited to just, all right, I'm going to do this, and be like, ugh.
Seriously, me too. I think I'm a good driver, and this whole happened, and we're in like the compound, and it happened in the compound as I'm just literally, we're finishing. Hands up. Yep, it's me. Well, I really wish you a fabulous, fabulous tour. Give a big hug to David for me and say thank you for connecting us both, because, yeah, it's really been wonderful. And if I do end up in Athens, I'm going to call you for sure, because I'd love to just meet you in person. We can sit in Athens and we'll drink a raki, their specialty drink.
Sign me up. You twisted my arm. I'm down. I think we're going to be there for a couple of days.
Oh, you are going to be there for a couple of days. Oh, okay. Well, you never know. I think it was about July. I think it's about July time you're there. So we've got plenty of time until then. And always know that, I know we've just met, but if you had more time, you can always come to Crete. You're always welcome on this side as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very, very, very much, Amber. You are a superstar.
Thank you, Sarah. This has been so much fun.
Glad you enjoyed it. Bye.
Bye.
La 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 la, ladies. here's the leading ladies by geezers of gear. On tour, maybe she got some stories to share. Now here's the leading ladies by the geezers of gear. Rock star ladies with some stories to share, because la 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 ladies, the ladies, la la ha ha, la 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 ladies, yeah she's a ha. Now here's the leading ladies by geezers of gear. Rockstar ladies with some stories to share. Now here's the leading ladies by the geezers of gear. On tour ladies, she got some stories.